Hello everyone, in this video you will learn how to import completion data into geomodeling software. All products from geomodeling share the same database and the same UI of data importing and exporting. Speaking of completion data, it is the time series data collected in hydraulic fracking process, mainly for horizontal wells in the resource. This data include, but not limited to, various pump pressure, slurry rate, chemical concentration of various additives of hydraulic fracturing propellants. The completion time series data are usually visualized together with microseismic events in different stages. To import completion data, you need to go to the top main menu, Import, and select Well Data, and select the last one, Well Completion Data. A dialog will pop up and let you select the correct completion data file. If you have multiple completion data files for different stages for one well, you can use Ctrl-A to select them all. And please make sure the file type is set to be the completion data ASCII column file. And then click Open to start the importing process. In this page, you need to define the well name for each file. You can use the drop-down menu to select the correct well. If it's the same well for all the files, you can click Apply to All to select the well for all of the files. Then you can see the well XY has been updated. And then you can select Next. In this page, firstly, at the upper right corner, you need to specify the data separation if it's separated by fixed width columns or by delimiters. And then you need to define the importing range. At the bottom, this is the preview of the spreadsheet. And you can see the data starts from line 3, so here you need to specify the importing range start from line 3 in this case. And if you have any invalid value, you can check this invalid value checkbox and then enter the invalid value here. In this case, we don't have any invalid value. For the delimiters, you need to set correct delimiters to separate the data in the spreadsheet. In this case, it's already separated well, so we don't need to change any delimiters. If you have any double quotes, single quotes, or other symbols that you don't want to import, you can check the checkbox, and then the symbols won't be considered as the data to be imported. Then you can define the column names if it's automatically defined, or you can use last used defined column names. You can also define the unit names if you want to import the unit for different completion data. For example, in this case, we can see on line 2, there are different units for different completion data. So you can specify the unit names on line number 2 so that you can see after I specify this, the unit has been added to the column name for each completion data. The most important thing is you need to define the column name. And for completion data, you have to define the column for the stage, data and time, and different completion data. So in this case, the first column is stage, and the second column should be data and time. So we use the drop-down menu to select date time. In this case, the date time is in the same column, so you define this one column as date time, but sometimes the date time are separated and the date should be defined as one column and time should be defined as another column. It depends on the data you have. And then for the other columns, in this case, they are all different completion data. It's already automatically match the completion data name in the data file, so we don't need to change anything. Then another important thing is you need to make sure that the date and the time format is correct. As you can see, here is our date and time format. So we select the correct date and the time format that match to the data file. Then after you define this, you can click OK for all to import the completion data for all the data files. It's starting the importing process. You can see after importing, the completion data is saved under the corresponding well. And for different stages, we have different folders to store different stages completion data. You can expand each stage to see the completion data in different stages. If you want to see the detailed data for the completion log, you can right-click on one of the completion data and select Spreadsheet to see its detailed date and time and corresponding values. And you can open a completion data window, then click on the completion data on the tree view to visualize it in the completion data window. If you want to edit any visualization properties for a completion log, you can double-click on the completion log on the tree view, and then in its properties page, you can go to visualization and change the color or the size, styles, or symbol for the line and points for the completion data line displayed in the completion data window. To change the axis properties, you can double-click on the blank area in the completion data window, and in the visualization tab, you can change the display min and max for the x and y axis. This is the end of the video of importing completion data. If you have any question, please send message to support@geomodeling.com. Thanks for watching.